Do you want to hear some? Okay, I got this story for you. I'm just gonna tell this story. Okay, so my friend Waylon Fairbanks, he's from the boons of Seattle.
Yeah.
He worked on a dock in Seattle at 19. On the dock was this guy, as typically is done, Lebanese man, 45-year-old, moved to Seattle to get away from Lebanon, and he's talking about all the things he hates about Lebanon. The traffic, the controversies, the religions, the nightlife, the food. I guess he got over it all. And that sold Waylon to go to Lebanon. So then Waylon Fairbanks, this fucking guy, man, we could get him on the podcast one day. He ends up going to Lebanon. Long story short, he goes there, full scholarship for the university. They only give out 3. Then he gets a full scholarship for the MBA program, which they only give out like 2. So this guy's like a whiz kid white guy from Seattle living in Lebanon now. He's been there for like 8 years. He's like a reporter now. So he's in Cyprus. He's sitting at a bar. Guy at the bar, old man drinking whiskey, talking to Waylon. Waylon is an inquisitive person, kind of like you and I. He likes to talk to people. The guy starts telling him, yeah, I worked in the food industry in Lebanon in like 2007, 6, 7, 8. He's like, oh, so cool. He's like, yeah, I met Anthony Bourdain when he came to Lebanon.
No.
And Anthony Bourdain did a lot of episodes in Beirut, and he speaks really highly of Beirut. And William's like, yeah, isn't it crazy that he just committed suicide with his lifestyle? And this guy was like, I don't think he committed suicide. And Waylon's like, what are you talking about? And so he's like, well, have you ever seen, oh man, I don't even know, just tell the story.
No, tell it.
I don't give a shit. So he's like, God, he was like, have you ever seen Anthony Bourdain's neck? Waylon's like, what are you talking about? He's like, well, he has these burn marks on his neck. He's like, that's not from his like old days as being a chef. And we all know Anthony Bourdain's background, and alhamdulillah, he got out of that stuff, had a great career, but you know, he had a pretty crazy background. But that's not from that stuff. That's an arm thing. The neck stuff, according to this guy, comes from Anthony Bourdain's fetish of erotic asphyxiation. Do you know what that shit is?
Yeah, it's like when you choke yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so then this guy starts telling Waylon that Anthony Bourdain weeks before was tweeting, making fun of people for doing erotic asphyxiation. So this guy's now claiming, with a new wife, a young child, living the greatest life ever, as Dave Chappelle said himself. This guy didn't kill himself. He died by accident.
Jerking off.
Anthony Bourdain went out on a high, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah, that's that story.
That's an interesting perspective.
Yeah, and then there's some other like people who tweeted this idea out and shit, and that's my scoop for the high button.
I hope that when you die, you get to figure out some things. You know, like God tells you.
Stats.
All right, so how did Anthony Bourdain die? You know,
yeah.
Was 9/11 an inside job?
True.
I hope you get to like 4 things. You get
there's like, I would love to see how many times